Minute and a half.
Jeez, even quicker. Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's a Long Story, a place where we roll dice, we tell stories, and we create magic. Excited to have you all here. We don't even have the music going. Holy shit. Hold on. Okay. We're good. Hello. Welcome. We are here with our beloved crew, the Unearthed Arcanum. Everybody take a look at the camera, wave, and say hi.
Hi.
Hello.
He said say hi.
Excuse me.
Hi.
The teacher said to say hi. Hello. Yes. Very excited to get into stuff for tonight. I truly don't know where we're going tonight. So as a DM, that's really fun and exciting and nerve-wracking all at the same time. Before we get into that, we're going to do some quick announcements. First and foremost, I'm going to put this as the first thing, because I think this just makes more sense to do. First and foremost, this is the first time that you're seeing us here. Hi, hello. We are a actual play or live play, whatever the term is, of a D&D game, actually a campaign that is consistent of 4 different parties existing in the same homebrew world, the lovely, beautiful, wonderful world of Imea, at the same time. So we have multiple crossover moments, things like that, adding in extra NPCs and switching things back and forth, and yeah, so it's super fun. So you're here with the Friday group. We actually have games running every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if you're interested in watching more, please do so. We have a whole catalog of sessions that we've had. But also, one of the important things that we have is our upcoming Candela Obscura campaign that we are desperately looking for players for. Truthfully, it is not upcoming until we find these players. So if you are interested in playing a game, first off, Candela Obscura is a cosmic horror game designed by the makers of Darrington Press, those that are famous for Critical Role. It is a game that is designed to be very high RP, very low on the rules, a lot of creativity kind of building around that. And it is a lot of fun. Critical Role does their own, they're in there. Actually, I haven't seen any of this new season. I apologize, everybody. I haven't caught up. But they've been doing little sort of mini seasons of collections of games over the past few months. We've made our own version of that, borrowing from the same lore, same game system, same general concept, but just taking the idea of Candela Obscura and putting it into more of a real world reference, pushing it into the year 1901 in a little place that is near and dear to my heart, North Shore of Massachusetts, my hometown. So if you were interested in first off in checking out what that looks like, we did a playtest early in September with a bunch of these crew that are all down here. Yeah, you can all just point to each other, all Brady Bunch style. And it was super fun and it was amazing. And we would like to be able to do a full campaign for it. But right now we only have one player. And while she is amazing at what she does, we need more. That's you. So please take a look at that. Check that out on startplaying.games. I'm putting the link here in the private chat for those that are watching from that. Oh, apparently we're not. Huh, one of those did not go through. I'm not really sure. I don't know why. Let's try that again. 1 second, gang. Sorry. Just want to see if everything's still showing up. Yeah, okay, we're on YouTube. I just can't seem to. Okay, do it on the actual chat. Yeah, I can. I guess I'll just do that. Why not? Cool. So we are very excited to get that going as soon as we get other players. So for those who are unfamiliar with startplaying.games, that is where we actually run all our games through. It is a great tool for that. So if you are interested in joining the Candela Obscura, we put that link in the chat. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, it is in the video description below here as well. Lastly, if you're wanting to check out the upcoming one-shots that we have, we're going to be doing this for a couple months. I believe this weekend might be full. We just had a ton of people jump in.
One more for Sunday.
One more for Sunday. Cool. Awesome. One more for Sunday, and I should probably know this. I've been painting. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, yeah, we're all full for Saturday. Sweet. So yeah, we're doing the Silver Brine, which is a fun little oceanic aquatic ship one shot. That is a lot of fun if you have not partaken. That is this Sunday we'll be playing. So if you want to check that out, as well as all the other upcoming games, we have the McClellan's mystery, McClellan Mellon's mystery, murder mystery thing. Never gonna get that name right. I made the name. I can never say it. Really fun little murder mystery one shot that'll happen, I believe, the following Saturday. So this next Saturday. That made no sense. Next Saturday, not this Saturday. And then also, I believe we're doing one more Where's Piddle, which we did Where's Piddle on Sunday. And Kiki was a part of that. It was super fun. We had a blast. I believe that is it. So yeah, so we're gonna put that. I'll put that link in the chat. But if you're watching this and don't want to really pay attention to any of that stuff, it is just at starplaying.games /GM/ It's a Long Story. I'm also going to put this on Instagram because it looks like Instagram's working, gang. Good news. Sweet. So lastly, if you're interested in supporting the channel, the best way to do this, so if you're watching this on YouTube or Twitch, is subscribing to that YouTube or Twitch. It allows to it feeds the almighty YouTube and Twitch monster, and more importantly, allows us to be seen by more people, and then hopefully allowing us to be able to do a lot cooler stuff for you guys, like learning how to talk, apparently. I believe that is it. Oh, also, lastly, you can check out the link tree, which I will put as the last link for you guys. Sorry, I'm actually seeing just multiple different versions of myself because I have to now put this into 3 different chats instead of 2. So you can check out our link tree, which has our social medias for our Instagram, TikTok, as well as our YouTube and Twitch. Putting that in there, and we'll just go from there. That's good enough for now. Sweet. As I am finishing collecting myself on this side, before we get into tonight, we need to get a little bit of a where we left off, which I believe, Clinton, you're doing the recap tonight.
That is correct.
Awesome. Cool. So Clinton, please take it away. Where did we leave off?
Absolutely. So Unearthed Arcanum is still hunting for Maeve, Siobhan's kidnapped daughter. We're traveling from the port city of Celeste to the port city of Dare's Wharf, home to several criminal organizations. However, along the way, we crashed onto a deserted island after being attacked. Found a cave within the island, did some fun trials and tribulations, and came out of it with a brand new magical item that Alistair, myself, now has. It is his cane. We got back to our ship, the Silver Brine, and found that we had some newcomers on there. Percy, who we had met before, and another interesting character that we found in Alistair's room, using his alchemy supplies and brewing some potions for Alistair. After some conversations, we realized they were there for something, didn't know what, and we invited them to dinner. After Siobhan and Nalani had a tense moment in the captain's quarters with Captain Boaz and Percy and those two, Nalani left, and then Siobhan cornered Percy and basically said, "I don't know why you're here, but we don't like it." And Percy responded back, "You found something on the island. I want to know what it is, and then I will share information with you." Siobhan then made that deal. Throwback to the fact that Siobhan loves to make deals and not include the rest of the group in there. That does come back later and might tonight as well. We saw Gwen conversing with Beatty, her warlock patron, who she has been, I won't say neglecting, but she's had, far more important things to do and hasn't really been following through with the pact that they made. And while Beatty is very upset with it, Gwen is kind of over all of it. Kind of over it. We don't know yet, but there's definitely something else going on there. And the two of them are just not getting along. Yori, after some prior conversations between most of the group, we have discovered that Gutter, our friend that we found on the island who was shipwrecked, and has been shipwrecked for a very long time, recognized both Huxley and Percy. And we were able to suss out basically that one or both of them had everything to do with Gutter being stranded on that island. And he seems to fear Huxley. And Yori decided, our 14-and-a-half-year-old fairy decided to make plans for the future. And him and his packle carried a cannon over to the side of the ship and pointed it at Percy's ship. And was caught by Alistair, who was helping from a few feet away, but just kind of giving some encouragement and trying to figure out how he could help without not helping. And then we were spotted by Huxley. Huxley did not really care what was going on. There was a moment, though, that poor Yori was staring at both Huxley and Alistair as they both stared off out into space. Huxley receiving a message from someone, we're not sure. And Alistair receiving a message from Eldrin, from the Mongoose crew, Wednesday night's team. They are currently amassing a group to fight Tall, and wanted information on how to get into the Ludus, and thought asking one of the 3 Ludus students would be a great idea. She had a 1 in 3 shot of finding somebody to help her, and she failed miserably. Chose the one person that, while clearly the brightest of the group, did not do anything other than hang out in 1 or 2 spots of the entire school. Alistair, realizing halfway through the conversation that Huxley more than likely could have been intercepting the message, shifted the tone of the conversation, and Eldrin and Alistair ended on a very bad note, both of them frustrated. Alistair wanting to get confirmation that he could get help if they needed it from the Kingdom of Honoria, and Eldrin not understanding that, but also needing help getting into the Ludus, which Alistair gave him his parents. We'll see what happens there. Watch Wednesday nights, guys. And then we had dinner. At dinner is when we found out. I'm sorry, I'm skipping a very important point because Dan's not here. Dan had agreed with Nalani, in full support, that they were going to poison Percy and Huxley with a master plan of holding up his eyeball-ridden arm and having it blink at Gruff, our cook, who was then going to poison their meals.
So nonchalant.
But they thought it was the best idea in the whole world. So we arrive at dinner. Nalani and Io waiting to give the signal. There's some conversation that happens, and then everyone that isn't Unearthed Arcanum, Percy, or Huxley passed out. They beat us to the punch and had poisoned their food ahead of us. At that point, the real conversation could get started. We found out that the cane that Alistair has is extremely powerful. We don't know exactly what it is yet. However, the founder of our school, the Ludus, the Mortimer Ludus, Grincelli Mortimer, is after it. Is also where the Mongoose crew is going. There are currently there are 4 rods in total. In addition, Hasamal, a city to the east of us, a very empirical organization, is also searching for at least 3 of these items to stop the march of South Imea into North Imea. Conversation continued. There were some tense moments. We managed to get our way out of it, knowing that we are all aiming for the same goal, if not in the same path, but the same endpoint. Huxley left in a huff when he was told he could not go help Eldrin and her group. It was also the moment that Unearthed Arcanum and Huxley realized that we knew people in common. He stormed out. Yori then confronted Percy about Gutter's family and how they ended up there, and Percy shifted the entirety of the blame to Huxley. and then Yori left the room. And then at that point, Alistair, still holding on to his cane, heard a voice from within him, his own voice, someone we haven't seen in a while. They are their own person, asking, "What is this?" Referring to the cane. Alistair, seizing the moment, stood up and demanded that if Percy would not allow Huxley to go help Eldrin and, more importantly, his parents, then he would have to go in his place to help his parents unless Percy sent someone in their place. And knowing that we do not want Grincelli to have that cane, and knowing what it's worth, and knowing that Alistair's probably not going to succeed, the threat is very real. And that's where we left, with Alistair pointing the cane at Percy.
Love it. All right. Also, extra kudos on the inspiration for remembering the word packle. We haven't discussed that Fenrir is a packle in a while, so nice. Nice touch.
Yeah.
Okay. So we come back in on this scene. We see Yori is not in this room. Io, we decided, was leaving this room in this moment. Nalani has an arrow pointed at this very large Furbolg captain. Alistair has a cane pointed at him. The cane itself kind of brimming with this odd sort of the veins of the cane itself kind of slightly just, I think, giving a subtle blue glow. Alistair, roll me a wisdom saving throw.
That is a 13.
Cool. With a 13, there is, I'm just going to say this. There's a part of you, this is not from a spell save, like a spell save or anything like that. This is just from the reaction of actually thinking about using the cane to attack this man. You feel yourself struggling to hold the cane up as if it just got really excuse me, if it just got really heavy. And I think you instinctively have to put like another hand underneath it. So you're holding it almost like a gun now at this point. And you can even feel, even with that, you feel your hands are shaking. We see Siobhan. For the record, does Siobhan look like Siobhan?
She still looks like Kara, and she's standing next to Percy still. She hasn't moved.
Cool. You got it. And we see Gwyn, who is kind of over on the opposite side, still kind of like standing a little bit further as in like 10 feet away as opposed to 5 feet away. So just kind of on the other end of the table.
I feel like she's probably the only one still sitting.
Right. Okay. Cool. You see Percival look at you, Alistair, and your hands are shaking, boy. I don't know if you know even how to use that thing.
I only have to use it once to get my point across, from what I'm hearing from you.
You misunderstand me. And he gets a little closer. He's now like, I'd say, where do you have the cane pointed at?
I would say it probably started off at his chest. Now it's probably more kind of
his face
down.
Oh, it's down. Yeah, because of the weight. Yep. Yeah. You see, he won't grab it. So I think what he'll probably do, is he takes like one of the like kitchen knives and like pushes it up to kind of point directly at his heart. If I was afraid of you just hurting me, this would be a very different conversation. So, threaten away. I'm not worried about what you're gonna do to me with that thing.
Drop it right in front of me. I put both hands on it and lean forward. I understand he's a giant furball, so as face as I can get as close to his face. I screwed up trying to be a good person, and I've put my parents in a situation that I can't help them. The only person I know that could, you told them they couldn't. I can guarantee you, if something happens to them and it's my fault, the next time you see me, you will genuinely be frightened, and there is nothing I can do about that. Please, help me.
I'm just gonna say this: a masterful transition from intimidation to persuasion. Roll me a persuasion check. Also, I'm gonna say for the sake of for something that you know, Clinton, I'm gonna say you have advantage.
Okay. It's 16.
16. Siobhan and Gwyn, roll me Arcana checks.
$21.
5.
Cool. Siobhan, I think fully you're just kind of like you're trying to kind of watch the expression. I also think there's a part of you that is, I think we stated last session too, like heavy emotions I think do rock you. Like you take on their sort of you take on that sort of burden, at least for a minute or so. So I think you're kind of possibly you're looking at this exchange, but you're also just I think you're paying just closer attention to Percy. Gwyn, you sense this in a way that clearly tells you it's you're sensing something consciously that should be unconscious. You can feel from Alistair this, as he says this, going from a hardened expression to a help me, because I truly will not be able to control what would happen if I failed, if I messed up. You feel and hear this sort of this like weird sort of ripple effect come out of Alistair. Actually, I'm going to say with the 21, it doesn't come out of Alistair. It comes out of the cane. What would you suppose we do? What would you suppose I do?
You've quite clearly had a eventful life that required associates of all kinds that I can only assume owe you favors. I would ask that you call in at least one, and in return, I won't go to Eriscar.
I wanted to be clear that your mistakes are not my problem. However, in a token of good faith in understanding that this would promote trust with everyone here. Odd comedic moment as motioning to everyone here, and half the people are in their plates, full passed out. Those conscious that are here. You understand that we had to do that, right? That was never mind. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. And thank you. And I will turn and walk out. And as I leave, I'm going to just put my hand on Gwen's shoulder and run it from one shoulder to the other as I walk out.
Gwen, give me an insight check.
I don't want to say it. Actually, no. Okay. 2.
2? Amazing.
I rolled the natural 1.
Amazing. Gwen, I think the only thing that you notice is you feel a weird shiver down your spine. You're wearing your clothes. You have kind of that like almost like sort of like jacket on over the uplet, I think. So you wouldn't feel, feeling even a warm hand would be weird. But you feel cold. As Alistair walks out the door. Anyone else need any favors from me? Can we put the bow down?
Nalani's gonna make eye contact with Siobhan.
She's just gonna nod like yes, put the bow down.
He lowers the bow.
It's quite an arm you have there. I'm just gonna be honest, that was some time holding that up. What's your name?
Nalani. We met back in the bar. I'm the one that kind of secured our passage. Remember?
I remember. You weren't as noticeable then.
Well, I wasn't pointing a weapon at you either.
True. Where are you from, Nalani?
A small place you probably never heard of, deep in the woods.
Try me.
I don't know that I really know the answer to that question. Why do you ask?
Roll me a persuasion check.
Oh, shit.
Buddy.
What'd you get?
Persuasion. A 4.
No reason. I believe I've had my full. If it's okay with you lot, I think I will make my way back to the ship. I will, of course, leave Huxley in your care. And actually, like, looks at everybody in the room, but then like kind of rests their eyes on Siobhan.
Understood. And about what Alistair asked for?
I will be in touch. I cannot guarantee safety. Assuming that this crew is going to be making their way to Eriskar in hours. I don't know if I'll be able to get anyone in time. If it's days, possibly.
Thank you.
Be careful of that one.
You have no idea.
Actually, I think I have some. But either way. Kind of gives it just a curt nod to everybody and picks up one more rock crab and walks out. Passes by all of you slowly. We're going to, unless there's anything else that we want to do in this room.
One does have
You're
something
muted.
I want to say to Siobhan, but I think we can wait.
Okay.
It would be before we leave this room, though. So if we're gonna,
Yeah, go ahead and say it now.
okay. So I think Gwen would just look over at Siobhan, and I think she looks a little bit more serious than she usually does, and she's just going to say, I trust that you made the best choice that you could in the moment with the information you had about Percy. But if you ever put us in a position where we don't have all the information again going into a situation like this, I think we're going to have a different conversation. And then she'd leave and go find Alistair, probably.
Ironically, it's just Nalani and Siobhan. Any words exchanged?
I think Nalani's going to be looking at Siobhan with a very soft, kind of sad look, bordering understanding and caring. Maybe the opposite of what she would have expected. And I think he's going to walk towards that end of the room slowly and say, you've spent your whole life trying to help and protect others, and I understand why that might be hard to get away from. And then he's going to turn and walk out.
Siobhan, you start to notice Boaz kind of like grumbling in his food. Seems to be really out of it. You're very used to this this sort of like level of like essentially looking like extremely inebriated, not fully aware of where they are. They kind of like pick their head up, and they're not even like necessarily like talking straight right now at this point. Are you doing anything to cover tracks?
He's already awake, so
He's awake,
right.
but he's not. He doesn't even seem to be like fully like. He's awake, but not conscious. If that makes sense, like just kind of like muttering and making weird, sort of like noises. You get the idea that he's going to fully wake up at some point.
Are there some wine bottles nearby?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think in the kitchen, right? Because you guys didn't. Oh no, we had the wine. Yeah.
Does the window open?
Yes, it does.
I'm gonna quickly throw the fish out the window so nobody else eats it.
Smart.
Pour some glasses of wine, splash a little on all the unconscious people, and then quickly dump some out the window so it looks like they just got really drunk.
Cool. Boaz like kind of comes to a little bit more, and you see Gruff kind of just like kind of pushing himself out of the kitchen. How is that? Why? You get him?
You got a lot of liquor, it looks like.
I don't drink. I don't drink. I don't drink.
Maybe it was in the food, I don't know. You guys had quite the after party, it looks like. Percy's already heading out, Cap.
I see Boaz. Let him. Tell him I said thanks.
I think we need to get you to bed.
Yep. And you help the captain back to the cabin. So now at this point, you're actually going out into the open deck. As we switch over to that, we're going to start with Yori. Where's Yori going?
The first thing that Yori does when he leaves is he goes to find Huxley. I think he tells Gutter, "Can you meet me over on that side of the ship?" And he points to where the sort of cannon was with the kind of metal and stuff that was just kind of brought over there.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. You see Gutter. Spits on the deck, walks off.
So then I go and find Huxley.
Okay. You find, go ahead and roll me I'll say, roll me a perception check.
Seven.
Okay, cool. And then give me a d20 roll.
Nine.
Okay. You see, it takes you a little bit to find Huxley. You are looking all around. Actually, I think you probably checked the lower deck first. Like trying to just make sure, like coming out of the sort of the dining room, you kind of like look at the other rooms and things like that, and then you recognize that he must have gone above. You come out. You don't see him anywhere. You walk out to the bow of the ship. You don't see him, and then you just walk towards the stern. As you walk towards the stern, the perception check was to see if, like, how quickly you find him. So now give me another perception check to see what you see.
Ten.
Cool. Awesome. You hear, as you're kind of like walking up the steps, you hear "I'm sorry," and you can tell them I said that. You walk up, say, okay, yeah, he immediately kind of turns around rather quickly as you approach. Probably about maybe like 10 feet. I think you make a note of, like, he turns around about 10 feet. Like, he turns around to notice you probably 10 feet further away than you would expect him to. But you see him up on the stern of the ship. He seems to be like kind of like clutching his arm, but you're not really sure what just happened.
Hey, I'm sorry that happened, but I thought maybe you could help me on a project, the thing we were working on the other side. Could you possibly come in and work on that and help me with that?
You actually are right there because it was the stern of the ship. Okay. You've been facing the other ship.
Then, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess I could. Actually. Yeah, I put my mind off of something. Starts to like, you can tell he's about to have a conversation with you that is like project based. So if you're trying to distract him from something, we'll say at this point, if it makes sense, I would say, what is your intention with this?
The intention right now is just to help him or get him to build. What I asked for is a sort of emplacement for the cannon that can turn in all directions. Obviously not down, but right. That could turn sideways and up, and just in case.
Yeah. So we would just need we're gonna need some excess wood, and then possibly an understanding with everyone on the ship that this is gonna take up a little bit more space in the stern. So unless we wanted to build out closer out, this is you. he looks up at you and says, "If we start this, we're not going to stop."
That's the intention.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, let's. Is there extra wood? Like,
yeah, I actually brought a bunch of supplies when you were talking to Alistair, and then, everything got kind of distracted. But I brought some metal, and there's some wood around. I could probably go grab some more if you need it. But I know there's some stuff right here.
No, I see. I just didn't know if that was part of it. Okay, great. Do you want it on the ship, or do you want it to be like kind of like off, so that like if it's someone that like is like your size, or someone about your size would probably be able to handle it okay, and or the other one.
If you think that would work.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we can do that. We'll. So the last thing we're gonna do is put on the cannon, and he just starts to kind of like walk you through, like starts to kind of like. He is talking to you about things, but you can clearly tell that he's just he's using you as a soundboard to be able to like kind of like work through stuff. So yeah, you guys start getting to work. You're spending time doing that, any sort of like personal conversation you want to have, because I felt like that was where you're going, so let me know if I'm wrong.
I think, I mean, and it's something Yori does a lot, but I think he just sort of like acts as that soundboard at this moment. As a player, the things that I have that I like to do kind of involve that being finished. I also imagine that, I told Gutter to be there, so maybe he's just sitting somewhere nearby listening. But I'm just letting Huxley talk, like be a person, and maybe getting to know him a little bit more by just, I know he does projects that's probably going to distract him a little bit, but then, just kind of nodding and listening while he's doing it.
Okay, cool. Give me an insight check. And I'm gonna say go ahead and do that with advantage.
17.
17. Okay. All right, you're done. What you get from Huxley as you're doing this is that Huxley himself seems distracted. You caught everything that went on. You caught the idea of you're going to stay on the ship and you're going to do exactly what I'm telling you to do, which is opposite of what you want to be doing. He seems to be not like. He doesn't seem to be like outwardly angry about it, which is weird. He for someone who seems to be kind of like what's the word that essentially just means dickish, confrontational, I guess. You're getting the feeling that he you get an idea like this dude seems to have some sort of power over him.
Percy.
In the idea that like he's not complaining, he's not even being he's not really saying anything about it. He's now just fully focusing on the project and like allowing there's no room for any other thought. As he's going about this, you notice that he definitely favors his not mechanical hand in most of what he's doing. He also seems to be extremely smart. But I think most important of all, you get the idea that Huxley is not someone who is going to give anyone pain for the sake of pain. You think that he's probably pretty selfish and self-absorbed and other things that will kind of get along the like area of this journey, but you start to kind of pick up on those things. What you don't get is something of like, this guy seems like someone who purposely made whatever happened with Gutter happen. But that's what you get without being direct. We'll say. Yeah. But yeah, so as you were working through that stuff and getting that stuff kind of like worked out, I'd say about another at least half hour goes by till we see Percy just kind of shows up on deck. I'll say I think in that scene, because you're both so focused on for as big as he is and knowing that he has this like this wooden leg. You didn't hear him approach. So he's just this big sort of, and it's very dark out now at this point. But you see him just kind of like, listen. I'm leaving. And you see Huxley kind of turns, looks at him, gives a very quick look to him, and just goes, all right. I got it here.
Back to your ship?
Yes. Time to go home. He gives a look to Huxley and then back to you that clearly, I think, gives you an idea of like, I gave you a piece of information. Have you sought into it? Doesn't look like you have. Like that's what he's telling you with that. Do you respond in any way?
I think if I... No, because I don't think he really wants Huxley to pick up on that, so I think he just kind of turns back to the work and maybe starts trying to help again, or mentions something about what's going on with what Huxley's doing at that point.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I think after a minute, he just kind of nods. I apologize. This scene does happen, but if I apologize, one thing I missed, if I remember correctly, Alistair, you walked out and you said you were going to go see Huxley. So let's... Alistair appears first.
Yeah, I mean, that scene can play out. I think, as he walks out, I think the only thing different he's probably, especially after everything we've done and knowing Alistair standing a little bit straighter, as he walks out, we'll see Yori and Huxley talking. Think about going over there, but knowing like Huxley lied to him, and Yori is his own person, and I think Alistair 100% supports Yori, but isn't going to get involved. So I think you'll see a little raccoon crawl out of his bag and come up, and Alistair will whisper to it, whatever Yori needs, you find a way to help him. And then as Gear goes to run off, he'll grab his tail, whatever Yori needs. And then I think he'll perch up on like the railing, probably about 10 feet down from where they're working, and Alistair's going to go to his room. And prepare
where do you say that? Do you say that like within earshot of them, or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think
okay.
Yeah. I'm not hiding it.
Okay. I have to roll. Check. We don't need your raccoon.
You okay, Yori?
Yeah, I got this.
Gear's there for whatever you need. If you need a drink or someone to grab a screw for you, he can help you out.
I know.
Okay. I'm gonna get out my sewing kit. I'll be in my room if you need anything.
Okay.
Be safe, Yori.
Keep it on me.
So, Alistair, you walk off. We have Gear around. as Alistair walks off, you see you get a sense of, with that 17, we're gonna carry that 17 over. You get a moment where you see Huxley is fiddling with like essentially like probably like the small gear that would allow this like sort of swivel mount for it to be able to kind of come in and get close to the ship and then also swing out when it needs to be. You see him like he's fiddling with this very small thing, this very small sort of like socket thing, essentially. Just I just need you to set that into that. And you do what he's asking. He walks over to Gear. Checking it out. I imagine Gear's kind of just like up on like the like kind of like a banister sort of thing, but like on the deck itself. Not like off to the side of the ship. Not that he's gonna like knock it off the deck. That'd be so fucked up.
Huxley's not making it off the ship if that happens.
I said we don't need this. Yeah, so let's just switch it to this actually. So he's looking at Gear and it's not bad. Little shoddy in the face, but I guess that's function over anything. Do you understand me talking to you? This
gears wind up and it kind of gets a high-pitched shrill going.
Jesus. Okay. All right. That's... feel like that was on purpose. Okay. If I asked you to do something, can you hold this screw?
Moves down the banister closer to Yori and then just sits down.
You see a smirk come across. Cool. We go back to work. So the interaction between so we come back to the interaction between Percy and you see, since you just give him like you see Huxley kind of just give Percy a curt nod. Just says, "Yeah, okay, got it." And Yori, as you kind of catch that look from him, and you see it. Well, good luck, everyone. And now that you know that he's there, you hear this slightly. He's walking down. You hear the sound of a rope being pulled as he is pulling up his own like lifeboat just by himself. He's just strong arming it. Gets on it. Just lets go. And then just rows off. Cool. So at this point, I'm going to say it's safe to assume that you and Alistair are working on this throughout the night, honestly. I'll say this, roll me a d6.
Huxley, not Alistair.
Not Alistair. Yeah, just Yori and Huxley.
And Huxley.
Mm-hmm. What did I say?
3.
Did I say Alistair? My bad.
You said Alistair.
My bad.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. You said a 3?
3, yeah.
Okay, cool. You guys seem to work really efficiently. There's certain points where Yori, you realize that like having wings is actually very useful on being able to be kind of on the other side of this. You actually, I hate to say this, but this is true. You guys actually counterbalance each other really well. Like Huxley's not strong at all. You are, you know, Huxley's kind of just like guiding things like as far as like where to go in stuff. He's I will say like so it takes you 3 hours is what I'm saying. But I will say within that 3 hours, you're able to just create the mount. At a certain point, at a certain point he actually says to you, and at this point I would say it's like close to like maybe like 10:30, 11. Like it's pretty late. He says, all right, well, you can all right, let's go ahead and grab the cannon and looks over to the side of the ship and you see the, like, just blackness that is the sea. Well, I guess if we do lose the cannon now, we wouldn't be able to find it until morning, so.
Gutter, can you come and help me lift the cannon? We just have to do this last part. Could you come and help me if you're around?
Well, if we get it wrong and it breaks off, it's going to fall into the ocean.
Well, he can give us some light.
Okay. All right. You see Gutter kind of like peers out from where he's been sitting for 3 hours. I'm just like...
Could you... just trust me. Gutter, trust me.
Walks out. You've mentioned his name a couple times now. Amazing. Are you I would say, I mean, at a certain point you're kind of like looking at Huxley for his like reaction to things, right? Nothing. Does not seem to recognize Gutter at all.
He would have been like, how long was he on that island for? Did we figure that out? It was like a while, wasn't it? He was like a little kid when he got there or something.
It was years, which is to say that it was more than a year.
Right, okay. So it wasn't like, yeah. So he probably wasn't that different at that point, but okay.
All right, got it. Your name's Gutter?
Yeah, we found him on the island.
Gutter is not looking at Huxley. And the idea of someone who's not spent time with another being for an extremely long, extended amount of time, there's a weird point of like, are we fighting or are we like I don't understand. Like I'm mad at you and I don't know how to express it. So that's clearly what you see from Gutter. So Gutter's just not looking at Huxley.
Right. Let's just get this on, and then I promise I just have something to say, but I want to finish. I like to finish up the work first, and then I just needed to say something. Can you help me with the cannon? We'll lift it up and try to get it mounted.
Yeah, with that, I'm going to say Gutter is going to give you advantage. Give me an athletics check.
Nat 20 for 27.
Amazing. Cool. So this cannon, which is extremely hard to even like hold up, you and Gutter lift. You feel Gutter actually is like lifting in that like strength of like I'm so fucking mad right now, like let's like that kind of like anger where like if you If you were picking something up, you're definitely throwing out your back because you're not paying attention to you're like lifting correctly. But Gutter miraculously doesn't, as sometimes we don't. As he hoists it on his end, you are able to kind of like have your wings out to be able to kind of like steady yourself as you are walking out to the sort of mount that is on the outside of the ship. You can see that as you step onto it, you feel this like as you go closer and closer, and you're like, there's a point where you're testing the weight. Now you're testing the weight with the cannon, but it holds. And you see you're able to secure it as Gutter is like holding on his end. You see Yori, every once in a while you're looking at Gutter, and you can actually see Gutter is kind of like trying to like look behind him because now his back is facing Huxley. And Huxley's just kind of like just Huxley's not looking at any faces right now, just engrossed on the angle and like where things are at, and like saying, okay, come towards me, like that, like sort of like guiding through that. Yori, you there's a certain point where you can see that Huxley is being a little over careful because once again his thought was, we'll do this part in the morning where if we lose the cannon we can go and find it. So like he knows he can only do one shot at this, so you can tell he's doing like a lot of like, okay, come to me, no, go back, okay, come to me, go back. So at a certain point, Yori, I think you just like, no, I think this is good, and you just like set it down, yeah. And you see Huxley just go, no. Oh, okay, good, okay, yeah, just secure it with these, and yeah, that should be good for now. And you wrap it up, tie it to the side, and you now fully have a cannon mounted to the side of your ship that can swivel in and out. Alistair's going to be so pissed.
So I tell, like, wherever you man the cannon, I tell Gutter, hey, could you just so we made this thing, can you just, do you know what a cannon is? Right. So if you stand here, you see this thing on the top, you can just kind of make fire, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Huxley,
I saw that face. He's starting to learn. Okay.
So I like you. I don't know you, and I'm sure you have stuff. Everybody around has stuff, and Alistair likes you. And I'm sorry that you have to be on the ship, and I know you want to go, but
Oh, this is to Huxley. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, if you're gonna be around us, you have to know that you have what the fire giants call guild. It's debt. Gutter can't even look at you, and we found him on that island in the shipwreck. And Percy mentioned something about you being involved. And I'm not sure what happened, but Gutter, that can point towards Percy's ship, or it can point inwards towards anyone on the ship. And all you do is you just take the fire and you light the little top part.
Amazing. Incredible.
Gear is hauling ass down the banister towards Alistair's room.
Go ahead and roll me initiative for. I'm going to say, I'm going to roll initiative for Gutter. I'm going to roll initiative for Huxley, and Yori, I'd like you to roll initiative. Sure. Fuck it, everybody roll initiative.
I was going to say, this is like 3 hours later, so I don't know what we would have done in those 3 hours.
Yeah. I think there's a possibility you guys
Gwen
would
is
have
wherever
caught this.
Alistair is, because that's who she went to look for, so.
Cool. So we will backtrack to the scene of that, but we need to handle this now.
No, absolutely.
Amazing. Cool. Huxley is. Oh man.
Are you serious?
Do I do battle music? I don't know.
I'm
I'm gonna put it there, light in the background. Yeah, I'll just put it something. I'll put a minor fight in the background.
Kudos, Evan.
Yeah, amazing.
Unbelievable. Cool. I'm gonna see if there's a trait he has. If he does not, he is surprised. He does not. Yeah, he is surprised. He also rolled a 3.
Nice.
So actually, sorry. 8. Yeah, so he's 8. Fully has Gift of Alacrity as well, but yeah, didn't know anything was going on. So yeah. Cool. I'm gonna roll for Gutter.
If Gutter got a natural 20, we are all screwed.
Natural 20.
Gutter got a 19.
Okay.
He's a druid, so he's got at least 4 wisdom.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, so what did Yori get? Oh, Yori's gonna let him do
I
it.
got an 8.
Story tells itself, man.
So here's what I will say, because I do think this is like a
whole round to point name this thing.
I'm trying to give agency to Gutter.
Right.
And let Huxley know that he needs to say something. That he needs to, I mean, that ship happened, that Percy said he was involved in it, and now he's got to either pay the debt or figure out, why he doesn't owe it. Or shoot and kill us all, that's also an option,
I think
It's
Gutter
D&D.
is, because you said to Gutter, you can just point this at someone on the ship. So that's what you said. So
Yeah,
he's
I'm telling him he can do, what he wants
So
with
it's
it,
his-
and it's a cannon.
it's his turn first. Anyone else who even would roll even close to higher on this is going to be a full round where there's nothing.
Right.
There's the first round is happening to people on here, people in this scene right now.
Don't worry, I would have been the highest, and I would have
my
only
God.
aggravated it.
Well, you're on the next round, sir. So, okay. So first round, Gutter is going to. He is going. I'm going to say what he's going to be able to do on his turn is he's going to swing the cannon around to point at Huxley, and then light his thumb. That's what I'm going to say his turn is. So that's his turn, and just looks at Huxley. Huxley is shocked. It is Yori. It is your turn.
All right. So I'm going to bonus action Storm Rune, which is a new ability that I have that I carved onto my armor. And you see kind of electricity go up the armor and then go up to one of his eyes, which turns blue instead of purple.
Nice.
And while that's active, I can use a reaction to give anybody on attack, saving, or ability checks advantage or disadvantage. And I have that active for a minute.
Okay.
And then all I'm going to do is just, I guess, turn to Huxley and say, he recognizes you. You had something to do with the shipwreck. His whole family is dead.
I rolled so fucking low on this, so now it's Huxley's turn. Huxley just spends a whole turn going, I don't know. I'll say because it's because it's his turn, he'll be able to roll for it again. I don't think a 10's gonna do it. He looks back at you, just goes, I don't know what the no. I don't know. Go ahead.
an ability check that he's doing, or a saving
That is
throw? Or...
that is an ability check. I would say it's a history check.
I'm gonna give him advantage.
Okay. Cocked. Lower. The 7.
Okay. Fair enough.
He looks he looks around. I don't know what the I did a million things. I've hurt a lot of people. I don't know anything about killing any goblin families or whatever you are. I don't know who you are. This is stupid. I don't even know. Back to the top of the order. Nalani, are you beating a 19?
23.
Nalani, it is your turn. Give me a perception check to even just be able to see this.
18.
Yep, you see it. Low DC. It's 3 hours of recognizing that something is going on over here. So.
So where would I have been? I'm imagining
process?
something. Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking.
Yep. So you look down and you see Cutter, who has a light. I wanted to think of like this would be like an old timey cartoon cannon that actually has like a long wick, like Bugs Bunny level, but it
Like,
wouldn't,
takes
right?
time to get down.
Yeah, like I think if he here's what I think. I think if he does it, it will happen at the top of the next round. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, any cannon has at least some
wick,
time
yeah,
before
so-
it goes off. Yeah.
So it'll happen at the top of the following round. Yeah.
I think Nalani is going to shoot an arrow
Cool.
at I imagine Huxley's kind of up against the rail, maybe just kind of they were working on the edge. He's going to shoot an arrow at the rail. Do you want me to roll for a hit?
What is your intention here?
My intent is to get his attention and know that
To get Huxley's attention?
because I'm going to say something afterwards.
Okay. You're in the crow's nest, so I'm going to say everything you're going to have to say, you're going to have to shout. So it might be enough
Yep.
attention just to shout.
Yeah,
You know what
but
I mean?
No,
But you want to
I
you
know
wanna shoot
what you
something,
mean,
so go ahead.
and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what my party would
Give me an
suggest.
attack roll on the plank of wood.
It's an 18 plus a 12.
That
so,
hits.
and then I'm going to shout, we know you were involved. What was your involvement? And then I'm going to ready an action and arrow pointed at Huxley loose if he does anything aggressive towards
Okay.
Yori or Gutter.
Okay. For the record, you can't hold an action after using an attack. In this case, I'll allow it
Oh.
because you're just trying to get his attention on it. But yeah.
Okay.
But if you're, so yeah, so you do that. You get ready for that next attack, and you're just shouting that out. We'll say you only get one. That's our kind of like in between. You only get one shot off, which you would anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Cool. You see in response, he looks at you. I guess I'll give him another turn. That's a 2. He has no idea. He has no clue. It's not his turn yet. But I would say with that, that's enough to know that he's not going to retaliate because now he feels that he has a cannon on him and an arrow at him. I'm just going to check his character sheet real quick. Okay. Okay. Anyone else that beats a 19?
I have 20.
Okay, cool. Give me a perception check.
22.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll say from your vantage point, we'll handle the flashback later. But whatever's going on, I imagine you're kind of at the lower deck, like probably just like midship, and you see a light come up from the stern, and you're hearing Huxley shouting, "I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about."
Okay. I mean, I guess I have to run to... I don't know how far away I am. So is that a full action dash, double dash to get there?
No. Just your movement.
Okay.
With your movement, you're able to get up to like the middle of the steps where you can see what's going on just from like the lower low. Like this is your vantage point right now. You can continue to do the rest of your movement to get up onto the deck.
I want to be up on that deck within 30 feet of everyone on that deck.
Okay.
That's just my movement to get there?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna look around and just... I'm gonna look at Yori
Okay.
and just say, I don't know what's happening. And then look at Huxley. But if you hurt either of them...
You guys are fucking crazy. You're all fucking insane right now. Do you not see what... Are you serious? Anything else on Siobhan's turn?
Yeah. Oh, he might shoot me if I try this, though. Okay.
He's got an arrow.
Does he
pointed
look like
at
he's
him.
lying?
Yeah, roll me
I
an
mean,
insight
I
check.
know as a player he's not, but...
Right.
17?
17. Unfortunately for him, I'm going to say this is a moment where I think I'm still having to use persuasion or deception, right? Like even though it's okay. You said 17?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can say this now. With his persuasion, he doesn't beat it. So he seems to be telling the truth. I will tell you as a player, his deception would beat it. So it's hard to kind of give you a full answer here. I would say in character, I think you get a feeling. Yeah, I would say it doesn't matter. In character, you get the feeling that he's telling the truth. He has no idea what's going on.
And I know what Yori's trying to do.
I don't know.
Oh, no, because I wasn't there for any of the conversation.
I don't think you were there for any of that.
Uh,
I love that Nalani. Mitch is shaking his head like he wasn't, because he wasn't there either. But he's like, yeah, all right.
It filled Siobhan in, though.
They were there for the conversation with Percy, though, so at least there's that.
Yeah.
You were there for the
Oh, yeah.
conversation with Percy, but yeah, you weren't there
but I
for...
spent like an hour with Gwen, so
Yeah.
she said she filled me in.
I think we said last session that we filled each other in on everything except Siobhan didn't tell him about the deal. So
I thought, Siobhan, you were there for that conversation. What would possibly Siobhan be missing besides the conversation that happened on the stern just now?
right.
Because neither of you were there for that.
Regardless, I was in the cabin when the whole conversation happened, but Gwen filled me in anyway, so I know what's going on. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
And the conversation
I know
with
what's
Percy
going on.
lets them know that I talked about Gutter's family during that conversation. I mentioned his family. I said, you killed his family. You need to say something. And Percy said, if you want someone to blame Huxley. So at least there's that disconnected information no matter what for the people that were there, to fill in. But still,
Which I thought Siobhan was there for, but that's fine.
Yeah, because that was at the dinner.
Yeah. I'm confused at what Siobhan wasn't there for, but that may not matter in this
The
case.
gutter charades, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they got a
Gotcha.
Regardless, do I have to use a dash to walk up to Huxley?
I would say at this point, depending on what you're wanting to do, you are, I'm going to say I'd say it's safe to say you're 20 feet from Huxley.
Okay, so I have to use a bonus action dash. Okay. Bonus action dash. Walk
Okay.
up to Huxley. I'm gonna look at Gutter and look at him and slap him and say, "You better fucking remember what you did right now." And I'm giving him guidance as I slap him.
Okay. Give me an attack roll.
Okay. 22.
Oh, so bad.
I'm going to roll something here because I'm going to tell you guys right now he hasn't taken an action.
I'm not trying to hurt him.
I know.
He's taking you hostage.
With a 22, he throws up a shield, grabs you, and turns you around and points the gun to your head.
Yep.
Yeah.
You see, sleep deprived Kiki did not think of that at all. I need to
He's still level 13, guys.
Yeah, he's
I
level
know,
13.
I know.
22. 22 is good. Shield is better. As he throws up that shield, grabs you, and points that gun. He can't do I'll tell you, like, for you to kind of get out of this would be a check here.
No, but he's touching me now.
Right.
So what are his emotions?
Joe didn't think of that.
I'm gonna say this. Go ahead and roll me a d20 because you're doing a lot this turn.
17.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's enough. His emotions are full on. Fuck all of you. Oh man. Do me a favor. Roll me a. You normally use this with your insight, right?
Insight, yeah.
Go ahead and roll an insight, and I'll roll a. I'm gonna roll deception. That wasn't great.
18?
You rolled a 14. He has a plus 10 in deception, but rolled a 4.
I have a plus 6 in insight, so.
What you get is a series of, I think, and this kind of works a little bit different here. So feel free to kind of translate it into how Siobhan would get this. But here's the only thing I can think of in this moment is you see flashes of images. The first image you see is him working underground in this sort of like factory-like position. You actually see him kind of like hanging over a railing, surveying everything that's going on, which looks like there's a bunch of like very extremely large automatons. And you see there's a whole team of people, and he seems to be leaning over the railing looking at all of them. Flash to another moment, you see him watching a man in like a long cloak, shadowy figure in this image walking away from him. You see him looking at I say what looks to be like kind of like a workman's shop, like sort of like essentially what you'd imagine is like a medieval like blacksmith sort of area. Him looking at at that sort of shop completely up in flames and just like having the flames kind of reflecting off of his face. And I will give you one more. You see him looking like he is and this is the one that you remember, like that you catch specifically. You see him working on an invention that looks to be like some sort of animatronic parrot. Like truly in like the term of like gear, like it looks very similar where it's mostly just function over, like it shows the general sort of shape, and you see like a fake like metal beak of a parrot, and you see that he's on a ship working on it. Flash, come back. As you see now, you can feel his good arm is around you. His bad arm is, his mechanical arm is pointed to your head.
The parrot. But I didn't give him guidance.
You did give him guidance, but that was a 2. I am putting that dice up. I just want everybody to know. But I also want to let you guys know I have no problem having Huxley be blown off the ship.
I do.
A cannon only does like, I don't know, 8d8 damage or something. I have to look it up.
Well, the funny thing
you'd
is that
survive it.
he has uncanny dodge, but he used his reaction on what he did with Siobhan. So, okay, Siobhan, that's your turn.
That's great.
Definitely wasn't useless. I'm going to say with the parrot, that's going to give him advantage on his turn. Who's next in initiative? Who thinks they're next?
I think Gutter's next.
Gutter rolled it. Yeah, Gutter rolled crazy high.
Got a 19, right?
Yep. Gutter lights the cannon as his action. Now it's a wick, so I don't think there's. I think that there's a. I'm gonna say I have to roll to see if Gutter can stop it when he starts it. If he's able to do that as a reaction. So we'll see. But he lights it. So as of now, the top of the round, boom, is happening. And that might mean that both Siobhan and Huxley is going to get hit with it. Yeah. What did Alistair get?
Gwen and Alistair are both 18, and we would have been in the room together.
Cool. With an 18, I'm going to say Gwen. Gwen would be rolling with disadvantage, and actually both of you be rolling with disadvantage. But you said that gear is running towards you.
Yes.
So I'm going to say that cancels out for Alistair, not for Gwen.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So essentially, double advantage in a way. Like, but so Gwen, you roll with disadvantage. Alistair, you're rolling not double advantage. Yeah, Gwen, you roll with disadvantage. Alistair, you're rolling straight roll.
I'm sorry. What am I rolling?
This would be. I'm going to say it's still perception.
Okay.
So it's like you're perceiving what gear is like. I'm going to say gear gets to you at a certain point in time. Once he gets to you, it's a question of whether or not you're going to understand what he's giving to you and have time to react.
Cool. 19.
I only rolled a 12, so -2 is a 10.
10. Okay, cool. 12 is the DC, so unfortunately 10 does not get it. But Alistair, you and Gwen are in the room. Alistair, you can tell Gwen.
Yeah, something's wrong. So gear can't speak; it's only clicks. We can't really communicate. So I'd say he's probably frantically making whirring and whining noises. Yeah. So and knowing what I left him with, and full well knowing what I kind of have helped. Yeah, we're out the door.
Cool. It is going to take, I believe, knowing both of you. Gwen, what's your speed?
It's 30.
Yeah, so both of you, it takes a full movement to just get from where you are to the hatch to get out to the mid deck. So like right in the middle of the ship.
Okay. How far does that put us?
I'd say you're about. It's a good question. The trouble is perception, because I would say perception-wise, you cannot see what's going on unless you were to.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah. I'll take.
Yeah.
I'll dash.
Okay. Cool. Dash gets you. I'm gonna say with the dash that gets because we said it was. Yeah, because I said your full movement. Siobhan's full movement would have gotten her onto the stern. Onto the deck of this on the stern part of the deck. I don't know what that's called. Stern deck. So Alistair, I'll say with that dash, you're able to do that. So what you see is you come up the moment Gutter is lighting the wick, you see Yori just kind of standing, I think arms just crossed, ready to go on either, like whatever's going on. And you see now Siobhan with essentially it looks like a hand, but you've caught, like at this point, you've seen him shoot this gun. That's the gun, and the gun's pointed at her head.
I fully have now completely caught on to or what Alistair thinks is Huxley. So completely disregarding Huxley, I look right at Yori. Don't make this kid a murderer, Yori. Don't stop this. You can do that. Don't put it on him.
That's the only way he can feel resolved. I didn't know what he was going to do, but I gave him a choice. That's what you do.
I use my bonus action to. Did Gear keep up with us?
Sure. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Bonus action to use his force weapon to blow the fire out on the wick.
Okay, you got it. So I'm going to say for Gear, also, I love the kind of like little sort of side adventure of the idea that Gear does not run like on the ship and like on the deck and runs down. Gear actually like is like full on like climbing ropes and like flipping and doing the other thing like to the side of the ship, like just like full on like what's the more popular one? I know there's like the yarn dudes that like I can't remember. I know what you're talking. Yeah, like that. Like there's a whole other separate adventure. There's a whole other session where we just go into that. But Gear is like flipping, doing all this stuff to like kind of like get back up to that sort of point of the ship. Give me an attack. I'm gonna say that to hit this wick is probably pretty hard. So I'm gonna say it's hard, but it's possible. So what would be the attack roll for Gear?
+4
for force powered round. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna say yeah, okay, cool. It's gonna be an AC of 18.
Okay. That is a 7.
Cool. With the 7, you feel that you shoot that wren. You actually feel, oh, jeez. 7's really bad. Give me a D20 luck roll.
That's a 9.
Cool. Awesome. So you tell Gear to what does it look like when Gear is like making that attack? What does that look like?
I'm just gonna go corny. It looks like Dragon Ball Z, just a little force.
Cool.
Little blue thing comes out.
Love it. You see it kind of like fall short and actually knocks into the support underneath both Gutter and the cannon. Roll me damage.
Okay. What is that damage? I think it's a 1d8. Nope, 1d4. 3.
Cool. With a 3, you see it like kind of like knock into it, and you actually feel like there's a little bit of a jolt as we see Gutter kind of like it still has the cannon, but actually like Gutter like drops about an inch like sideways as the lower sort of point of this mount is hit on one of the beams. Crazy. Amazing. Gwyn, it is also your turn.
Yeah, so when we get up to like the hatch, I would have to use an action to get within like 10 feet, right?
Yes.
But from the situation, I can tell that the wick on the cannon is lit.
Moving, using just your movement gets you to the midship, which I would say just kind of from the vantage point of how you'd be looking.
I can't even see anything from there. I'd have to
you can't see anything. Yeah.
That's fine.
You can
just
hear
dash then.
shouts, so I don't know if there's
No,
something.
I'll dash.
Okay.
To get up there. And I guess looking at that, seeing that, and hearing what Yori said, I think Gwen would look at Gutter this time and say, there's another choice as well. And that is to talk. You told me what happened. We got there. Let's use words first.
Okay. Roll me a persuasion check. I'm going to say... So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll based on Gutter's... not Gutter's understanding. Gutter's, like... I'm going to roll on something that is a low DC. However, what Gwen is trying to convince is against everything that Gutter's feeling right now. So I'm going to say you have disadvantage.
On that first one. That one's okay. So that's just going to be a 19.
19. Okay. 19 is pretty good.
It was a 27, Joe.
It was a 27. Okay. 19's still not bad. So let me pull up Gutter real quick. This is so nuts. I love it. It does make sense. The great thing is actually being able to sit with every part of this and going like, yeah, I get this from all angles. Okay, so I think this is not against his perception, which is +5.
Is it in his
I think it's
nature?
I think it's nature. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. We got there at the same time. Amazing. So he has a +3 in nature, so he has to roll at least a 16.
Yikes. Okay.
For it to stay the way it is. Okay. Once again, I promise, gang, I will be working on the dice cam this week. Sorry. But here we go.
Oh no.
I used Kiki's dice.
I believe it.
That's a natural 18.
Okay.
No, that's bad. I'm saying you wanted to, yeah, it's bad. So you see Gutter looks at you, seems to think about it for a second, because COD 19 was good. Seems to think about it for a second, and then you see the brow furrows. And this is also in terms of like Alistair, you saying like, are you going to make this kid a killer? He heard that. Gutter heard that. Gutter's right there. So you see Gutter like just kind of like brow furrows. He seems full on ready to blast this dude out of the water. This is some amazing I don't even want to say fails because it's just the way things are going. It's incredible. Okay. I think that's everybody, right? Except for
didn't go
Huxley.
yet.
Okay, cool. Yori, it's your turn.
So I kind of look at everybody. Remember we talked about you all trusting me? I know it's... I was raised in fire. And I draw the sign in the air for Kenaz, which is also one of my names, which means flame. And I use Druidcraft to extinguish the flame. So I just sort of draw it, just go, has a verbal and somatic component. So, Gutter sees that, and if I do it, so if nobody interrupts that, that's what I do. Also, I was going to ask you to roll for if I loaded the cannon correctly.
That would have been fair. I would have been on board with that. Cool.
Yeah.
It blows
So-
himself up.
Just and I just want to say this just so that I can give you guys my perspective on this too, because I think what I said is that that Gutter would be able to stop this as a reaction, but I don't think he can restart this as a reaction. Okay. Do you say anything else? Your anything else on your turn?
Yeah. Cutter, I have your back. And this is what you want to do, then this is what you want to do, but it's just gotten a little out of hand. And I don't want Siobhan to get hit. And he also has a gun to her head, and that's not really what I intended. If you want to fight him, I'll fight him with you. But maybe let's try to see if we can find out what happened first.
Okay. Give me a persuasion check.
20.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to roll to see if he beats it. That's a 5. Okay. You see he is now staring at you, angry tears. Like kind of like pushes the cannon, like the cannon doesn't move, but like pushes the cannon to like tell you like, no, let's get him. Like, let's do it. And you're just staring at him. And you see him just like drop his hands to his side. And you see him just drop his hands to his sides. And he just extends his hands out and falls backwards off the ship. Sorry, that's not funny at all, but it's just like in my head, what would Gutter do in this? Gutter is like, yeah. I think there's a moment in game that everybody is like, what are you doing? Like character wise, he's fine. He's just like, I need a cold water to hit my face. Cool. All right. Yes.
Huxley still has Siobhan with his...
Huxley does still have Siobhan. That is true.
Great. As soon as that thing went out, I am walking up, and I mean...
Wait,
are we out of initiative order?
We're not out of initiative yet. Yeah.
Man.
I just stopped the battle music. So it is, I'm gonna say, because I think we said Gwen's giving advantage on Huxley remembering what happened.
Siobhan is.
Or understanding what he did. Or Siobhan.
Yeah, I gave him, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool. So I'm gonna say he is. Yeah, okay. Because you're giving him advantage, I think it gives him one roll. So I understand this with advantage. He actually has relatively good history. Not great though. +5. Okay.
He can flash of genius himself, probably.
Oh, he absolutely can flash a genius himself, actually. But I think it's a reaction, right? Well, it's his turn. He's getting a new reaction. Yeah.
Or Alistair could flash. No, he probably doesn't have any.
Yeah, he'll flash a genius himself. In that, Siobhan, you're still holding on to him.
Yep. Got my hands on his arm.
Okay. Sorry, 1 second. You feel as he's like clutching you, you actually feel his you feel the hand loosen slightly. And you said the parrot. as you're following and you see an image of him with a... Oh, this is fun. You see him with another elf. This elf is about 5 feet tall, long hair that looks to be like black, almost blue in this light, like a dark blue. You see they are both kind of leaning over a chest, like a footlocker. That she is holding open, and you see her pull out this like old, beat up looking parrot. Yes, you want to say something? Was something you want to say? Sorry, I heard you turn the mic on, so I don't know if you were saying something.
I was typing.
Okay,
I was trying to not be obnoxious.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Cool. You see that image move away, and another image kind of comes up of that scene where he's working on the parrot. And you see a younger version. Not a younger version. This wasn't that long ago, actually. You do see. I will say this. You do see a slightly younger version of Huxley working on it. Give me a. I'll say in this scenario, give me a perception check.
10.
10. Okay. Yeah. You just see that he's younger. You see Percy walking up to him as he's working on this, and he's above deck. You actually see his goggles are on. It's midday, and you see them conversing, and you see Huxley kind of like seems to be like kind of like they seem to be like in like an argument sort of thing. I mean, you see Huxley kind of like quickly finishes like a final turn and then throws it to him, like basically like or like gives it to him. And storms off. Percy looks at the parents, walks off. The next scene you see, looking at the wood and the looking at the ship, you notice that I'll say there's like certain like slight variations in the differences between the wood between this memory and then the next part of this memory, which tells you that they're on a different ship. This ship, actually, sorry, they wouldn't be on a different ship. It would be, sorry, apologies. They're on the same ship. So then coming to a place which clearly must be like the Percy's like sort of captain's cabin. This is not the houseboat at all. This is like a full-on. This is like a ship similar to what you're on right now. You see a captain's cabin. You see a what looks to be a very nasty sort of looking figure, long sort of beard, sallow face, seemingly human, but there's so much hair that's around you can't see the ears or any sort of indication of whether or not they're elven, but human or elven, it's hard to tell. You see that there's two other people on either side. You can see just sort of faint images of them, and you see that Percy is sitting at his captain's station talking to them. Give me an insight check. I'm going to say with advantage because you would know what this is.
24.
Judging from the look of the people that are involved and the actions of what's happening, it looks like this is some sort of deal or negotiation, but it's also a deal and negotiation between at least two parties. I would venture to say, like, knowing from Percival, both these guys are probably criminals in this deal. You notice the parrot is on the desk. in the middle of the conversation, the parrot seems to open its mouth. And you can't hear anything. But you see the, essentially the pirate captain, the human, kind of like gives like a violent look over to Percy. And then you see a cutlass being pulled, and all of a sudden, Percy like pulling out a gun just from his side, and then you hear as the image kind of like starts to kind of fade out. The reason why it's Huxley's fault is because whatever Huxley built let out information that led to this attack. We pull back into the scene. You see him let go. Or you feel him let go. Gutter is not here. It's just you all on the stern. I've hurt a lot of people, a lot of families. I've done many things that I'm not proud of on purpose. I had reasonings, and I didn't care how they affected anyone around me. And I can't say in all honesty that I still do. Or I can't say in honesty that that has changed. That was an accident. And I didn't know anyone survived that attack. You can look at me and call me whatever you think is fair, and I have grown accustomed to not caring.
You seem like a person. Percy has some sort of hold over you, like a chain that ties you down, and I feel like you're the kind of person who hates that. When you hurt people, they're bound to you. The ones that survive, the ones that are hurt, and those become chains. I was just trying to give you a chance to drop just one of those. If you explained yourself to Gutter and Gutter decided not to fire the cannon, then
well, if Gutter had
resolved.
Said anything to me, I would have known.
He can't.
Why? Huxley has no idea.
Because he doesn't know really how to talk. He can sometimes say some words. I think he was either on the island so long or I don't know, but all he says is something like, you know, like that. And he can understand us, but
gibberish, that doesn't mean anything. You didn't say anything.
Right. Yeah. And it's not an animal type of speak.
Is he gonna lower his bow? Line, do you lower your bow?
Yeah,
This
Nolani
resting
would have.
state.
Nolani would have lowered his bow a while
Okay.
ago when
Okay. Cool.
when he let go of Siobhan. I mean, he's put his gun down, correct?
Yes.
When that happened.
It's hard. He can't put it down, but yeah,
Right.
that's the inconvenient thing. All right. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Sorry. Looking over to Siobhan.
Don't mention it. Happens a lot around here.
Looks at Alistair.
I pulled the sewing kit out earlier in case you needed it.
Okay, cool. Okay. Is that... Do you guys do like a group hug sort of thing? Because I'm not doing that. I don't know.
You don't have any guilt with me, but Gutter's still going to be on the ship.
Okay. You see him kind of like look over at the on the side. He's, yeah.
We'll talk to him in the way we talk to him. We'll try to find out what happened from his side. But then you have to be ready to talk to him, and there are lots of ways to break that chain that aren't killing, which usually leads to more. I hope you can find one with him, because otherwise it's going to be a rough week. And I'm going to go fly down to try and help Gutter back onto the ship.
Yeah, Gutter's having a hard time. Gutter, guys, what a crazy night of rolls for me. You see Gutter like made a choice to like, I just need a minute, and you see now he is like trying to get back and didn't like think this through. So you see him like he's grabbing the rope, but now because he's soaked, he's just having a hard time. You see as you come down, you see him like he actually like flicks like a fire on because he's gonna light the rope on fire. He's so mad about it.
Buddy.
Wait, I can help. Hold on, let me help. You know this thing eats people, right? You can't just jump into it. Let's get you out of here.
He's like looks at the rope. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, just hold on to me
Falls
and grab
back
the rope
into
too,
the water.
and we'll kind of work our way.
He's
back
not touching that rope. You just told him it eats people. He knows the sea doesn't eat people. He knows that. You don't. And so yeah, what a lovely night of misunderstandings. Yeah, you grab him. You both fly back up. Huxley would absolutely be the type of person that would want to handle that situation now, especially it's something that is like he said there's plenty of things that you could be mad at him for. That one actually is a misunderstanding, like for real. So let me go back to the I'll just do this ambient stuff. You see him walk up to Gutter and I don't know if you're understanding what I'm saying. Looks like Yori.
He understands.
I'm sorry that you were left on that island. I didn't think anyone survived that blast. As far as I knew, everybody was involved in the fight, so if you weren't, and we could have checked on that, and we didn't, so. I'm sorry. I'm gonna roll something for Gutter. Gutter reaches up to him. Huxley's not especially tall at all, but still has to reach up. So Huxley kind of like bends down to like shake his hand, and Gutter punches him as hard as he can in the face.
Yeah.
And you see he's surprised on that. He thought, you know, so he just takes that and. Okay. Are we good? You see Gutter just looks at you and just kind of just looks at you, Yori, and just goes,
Okay, if you need more, you know, you could like do one more if you really feel it, but
Huxley like, okay, all right, hold on, no. There's this clear moment of like, I hate to say this, but instinctively, like Huxley does. This is the moment you actually recognize that Huxley is an extremely quick trigger. Like you see him immediately like pull out the gun at that point, and then everybody else like kind of like backs up. All right, no, sorry, no, fuck. Okay, can we just let's all just get some sleep. I'm gonna sleep up here. Just okay, good.
it feels better, right?
No.
One less chain.
Yeah, I guess.
Even if you didn't know you had it.
Is the cannon okay?
I think that maybe one of the mounts needs some work tomorrow, but other than that, it's fine.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go find some place to crash. Before we continue forward, let's flash back and handle those scenes that happened during that interaction. So I know that there's a scene between Alistair and Gwyn, so let's go ahead and just do that one first, and then we'll kind of check in the others. So this happens before this whole thing goes down. As far as Alistair and Gwyn knows, Yori is hanging out with Huxley. I think that we're going to take it from there, if that makes sense.
Above board,
Mm-hmm.
Since they end together right before they run out on deck, I needed to do something with Alistair when I left. So it depends on which. Do you want to work backwards or go all the way back and work forward?
Nope, that's fine. Yeah, let's go all the way back and work forward. That's fine. So we'll say that you're talking to Alistair as Alistair's walking off the deck from this interaction. So like leaving gear. So you're catching Alistair then. Nolani.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. Beef, are we picking up?
You're walking up to me, sir.
Okay, after this interaction or after we left the dinner room?
After we left the dinner room.
Well, you guys didn't leave at the same time.
Right, so I left and went to find Alistair.
Cool. And you see Alistair kind of walking back from the stern of the ship.
Okay.
Looking... How is Alistair looking? I gotta know. Like, how is Alistair looking walking back?
Probably smug at this moment.
Love
Like
it.
he's yeah.
Um, Alistair. So, and I've taken out Alistair's journal, and I'm taking a few notes in it. And I said, so, I just want to get that last part right. I think there was some stuff that I might have missed. Do you mind going over some of what they told you about the staff, and and just kind of recapping some of the stuff that happened? Waiting for him to tell me something to write.
Nalani. And I'll reach up and shut the book between your hands. I appreciate whatever attempt you're making here. And then I'll open it up to the front page, like the cover page that is completely blank. And I will reach forward. I'm assuming you're wearing a shirt with buttons, sir. And then I will like grab a button and then kind of look at you with that, like I'm about to rip your button off. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, I think I just kind of look down, knowing, like, resigned to what you're gonna do.
All right. I pop it off, and then I'll start at the top of the page in the center and go slowly down the page. And as I do, some words will come up on the page for you to read.
Wait, what? I look up at Alistair, look down at the page. Alistair.
When I left to go to the Ludus, Alina and Vostos spent a lot of money to get this made for me. It was very important for them, and it's been mine forever. Everything that I've ever thought about or considered or dreamed of is in this book. You need to start from the beginning, and it's yours now. And you can use this as a bookmark. And I will pull out the letter that Brucelli gave us before we left her store and slide it into the book. And then tap the page again. Nalani, read this. This is important. Everything is important.
But this note, this obviously means a lot to you, and I know how much you love your mom and your dad. Are you sure?
I think it's time to get a new one, maybe? You're looking for something, and maybe you might find it somewhere in here, or at least a spark of an idea, but I don't need it right now, Melanie, and I can just... Gwen's got plenty of notebooks if I need one for now. I have several more. But there's good stuff in there. You should... It is special, all right? And I want it to be in good hands.
I think Nalani, while you've been saying this, has been scanning what this says, and his eyes kind of scroll down the page, and he comes across this section that says, may your time at university be filled with discovery, friendship, and the joy of learning. And he kind of pauses, and he knows that maybe all of that didn't happen for Alistair, particularly the friendship. and thinks of Gwen and his friendship with her and Io, and he says, Alistair, I know I probably haven't been the best friend to you in the last week or so, and I know that there's a lot going on for both of us, but just know that the things that you've shared with me and the things that you've done for me really mean a lot. Thank you.
Not everything I said was good advice, Nalani. But I think you know that.
I think Nalani smiles, clutches the book tightly, and says, turns to walk away, and then turns back around and says, did you read the name on the slip of paper?
You'll tell me your story when you're ready to tell me. Not before then.
I think he walks off to the crow's nest.
Was
And-
this Brucelli's note?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
He's gonna go off to the crow's nest and open the book and look at the letter. Look at the name on the list or on the paper.
Okay. Roll me a d20. There's going to be at least one name on there.
You know, every time I get a chance to get any lore, I roll the crappiest.
That's why I said you're going to at least get one.
A 19.
Whoa.
19?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, awesome.
So 19 on the dice. I don't know what I was.
You get a... Oh, boy. You see 3 names on the list. You see Silvara, Talion. I'll put these in the chat later. And then you see a name that I think... roll me an insight check on yourself, Nalani.
A nat 20 on your die, Siobhan.
Hell yes, let's go.
Amazing.
That was very cool.
What do I do here? I'll do this one. You read the last name on the page. And it says Lyrian Nalanthir. With a nat 20, Nalani, you know that your name is Lyrian Nalanthir. Looking at the other names on the page, They sound familiar, but you're not connecting the dots. You know that that's a male and female name. You know that you know that you're missing pieces of your mind, but you do remember that my uncle's name is Javier. My dog's name is Pedro. Javier. That's not an elven name. So you know that Javier must have lied to you about that. And you see the name Silvara. You see the name Talion. And you say Lyrian. Lyrian Nalanthir. You say that over and over in your head. You start to move your mouth. You start to move your mouth around the words as if you're saying it, but you're not actually allowing your breath to escape. And you feel another mouth movement. You feel another syllable fall out of your mouth. Galano del. You look back down on the page, you see Silvara, and you say, Silvara Galanodel. Talion Galanodel. Lyrian Nalanthir Galanodel. These are your mother and father's names. And with a nat 20, you get an idea that you'll be able to find a nail to win because you're originally from there. And there's a possibility that your mother and father are still alive. And with that, we're going to take our 10-minute break. See you guys in 10 minutes.
Wow.
I know. All right, here we go. Okay, so coming back to our scene, we move away from Nalani in the crow's nest. Nalani, you finish that, like looking down at that page, and you see Gunner flicking his light to kind of like light, and we cut from there as it goes back to what else happened during that time. As I just imagine, like time might have sped up as Nalani was sitting up in the crow's nest trying to figure out what this was, and but yeah. Cool. Turn that. Make sure that's there. Just down. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So now, cut to. I'm gonna ask this, Siobhan. What do you think you're doing after you get everybody? Well, so you get the captain to bed and all that.
Continuing to cover up the mess that Percy left us.
Cool. So
Getting
you're
beds, convincing each of them that they got really drunk in the night.
love it.
Convincing them that it's way later than it actually is.
Right. Yep. Just going to like the big like grandfather clock and just moving it over a little bit.
Yeah.
You can fix it before they wake up. It's fine. Cool. So as you're doing that, we see Alistair cutting from Alistair, letting go of the note and walking off. We cut to Gwyn. Gwyn, do you think you're in Alistair's room before Alistair gets there?
Probably. I mean,
Okay.
and I don't think. Yeah, she would probably just let herself in.
Awesome. Gwyn, as you were in Alistair's room, you're spending about a good solid maybe 10 minutes alone. Give me a perception check.
Okay, Kiki, I'm gonna use your dice.
Don't give me that face.
I'm
Gwyn.
working good
Don't give
for
me that
other
face.
people tonight.
You'll find out. You'll see.
I rolled an 18. That's great.
My dice
Nice.
are magic. I love it.
Amazing.
So that's a 16.
Cool. Given the information that you got at dinner, the first thing you notice when you walk in is you see those two like kind of potions that are like sitting up on the desk, and you notice some like you walk over to the desk and you notice that there's some sediment on the table that doesn't represent what you imagine is probably in that potion, right? You've taken potion class. You've done this stuff there, confirming the idea that you're looking at like the alchemy set of Alistair, and you see that clearly. I think there's probably a part of Gwyn that thinks it's not funny, but like there's just a slight smirk that comes across Gwyn's lips on the idea that Alistair got duped.
I think it's probably not in like an amused sort of way, but just in a, this has been something that she's always known would happen at some point, probably sort of way. Just in a, I'm going to keep an eye on it sort of thing.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Gwyn's necessarily made a like connection of like deep emotions or anything. In my mind, I think Gwyn looks at this and going like, I'd say like Alistair's been like outsmarted before, but Alistair's never been shown that he's been outsmarted before by something.
Yeah. And I think there's a part of her too that has been waiting for, some sort of social interaction that Alistair is engaging in to really show like everybody has an angle sort of social learning that she picked up very young that Alistair really hasn't had a chance to have yet because nobody ever really paid attention to him.
Right.
So, yeah.
You hear the door open behind you. Is Alistair, you come in?
Hey.
Hi. Sorry. Huxley's probably. Yori's probably gonna hurt him, so I'm just gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna set the sewing kit out, and if he needs help later, I just figured I'd be prepared.
They'll figure it out. That's
What are you, I mean, not what, but hi, how are, hi.
Hi. There's a lot that's been happening tonight.
There has been a lot,
About
that
your
it's,
parents.
yes, can you still, can you reach out to them for me? That would be. I can ask Siobhan if you're busy. I know.
I
Okay. I don't know how to really. I don't know what to say. There's so much.
Well,
I mean,
it has to be short, so.
maybe you can help me. Hi, I love you and I miss you, and I'm sorry I haven't reached out at all. I hope you got my letters. I told the Princess of Honoria to come see you, and Callus, and Tall, the guy that spoke in the sky, and the Grincelli Mortimer is apparently a psychopath. How many words do we get?
Gwyn, roll me an insight check. Don't say anything. Roll an insight check.
9.
Okay. You have advantage. DC's 10. Roll above a 10.
9.
Come on!
on.
I'm the DM. I can say what I want. Nine's close enough. The weirdest part of that whole statement was, "I miss you. I love you."
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Everything that
100%.
was said, which is to anyone else would be the insane part. To Gwyn, the insane part was the first part.
I think what she's going to do is, as he keeps going and just adding more information to this, she would just reach out, put her hand like over his mouth, take a breath. Let's start with the important part.
I really miss them, Gwen.
I know. It's hard to be away from your family. And it's the first time you have been.
Something happens to them, and it's my fault. I don't know what. I don't know what I would do.
Everybody makes choices. Your parents have always made good ones. They are strong and they're smart. And if we give them what information we can, they will be able to make the best choices for them and for others. So if something happens, it won't be because of you. It will be because you have given them the tools that they need to deal with it. Okay, so Princess of Honoria.
Yeah. Yori left. I mean, I guess we can fill everybody in later, but Yeah, she reached out. Grincelli has her brother, and they need help. Um, they said or asked if they called on us, would we help? And I was non-committal.
We've got a lot going on right now, but we can help a little.
Yeah, I think Lena and Faustus will. They'll do what they can, and I think. And I'll look down at my cane. There's more of these. They need at least 3. So we need at least one more to keep them from getting 3.
Yeah, I've been thinking the same thing. But let's start with what we can control. And Gwen will spend a minute processing how to send and then reach out to Alina through sending.
While she's doing that, can I roll an insight to see if she's pulling that power from someplace other than Beatty, or struggling to get it from Beatty?
Yeah, go for it.
Because I can see magic, sir.
Exactly. I was going to ask, does it feel harder than usual to access anything, too?
That's nat 20 for a 21.
Okay. Gwen, go ahead and roll me an Arcana check.
I'm going to use Kiki's dice again.
Don't.
Much better.
Just kidding.
My Arcana's +6, so that is a 21. We are rolling the same numbers tonight, buddy.
I know that.
That's great. With a 21, I don't think you feel a struggle at all. Alistair, with your 21, I'll say this. You notice a difference in Gwen's... Not in Gwen's magic, but in Gwen's process. Not consciously. You're the only one that would be able to see this. It's almost like there's a... if we were to imagine that that Gwen accessing her magic to be able to do something like sending is sand going through two or three sieves, like so filters, right? There's one less filter. But the 21, you're not sure why.
Just out of curiosity, do you have the Diminuum on you?
Yeah, it would be in one of the pouches at like her side.
Okay, so not in your hand or anything.
Not
okay.
in the hand, no. All right. So the message. Let's see if I can do this. Alina, it's Gwen. Alistair, good. He misses you. Loves you. He's sending a princess to you for help. Access to Ludus needed. Grincelli bad. I think that's 25.
I feel like that's way less, isn't it?
That's 24.
Oh, it's 24? Wow. That's hard.
All right, then she would just...
How do you guys handle
finish
that?
with, I.
Man, that must be so hard for you guys.
We don't have a
Among
sending
this crew
room,
is
Joe.
laughing at us right now.
I know it.
All right. Cool. So that's what you said.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do this by the book. So coming back. Oh, Gwyn. Tell Alistair love and miss you. Not sure if we understand. But we'll do what we can. Safe? Oh, do I have another?
You have 5 more.
Oh, I have 5 more? Okay, cool. I'll say, are you safe? So that's 2. I love you.
After she gets that back, she'll look to Alistair and say, they love you too. They'll do what they can to help. And I can send her another message tomorrow. Today? What time is it? I don't know. But we'll check in.
So what are you doing differently?
What are you talking about?
When Bedeath. I know how you cast magic. I know how you handle things. Something's changed.
I didn't... The librarian's not happy with me right now. And I don't really know what that means yet. I wasn't consciously doing anything different.
Alistair, roll me an insight check, but I'm just because it's funny and it's fun, and I do think it does apply here. Roll it with using your charisma.
14.
14.
Math.
I think that's the first time you've ever heard Gwyn call Beatty the librarian, at least in a long time. It sounds, I mean, it's noticeable to you, and it sounds standoffish. I mean, Gwyn explained they weren't on good terms, but...
Formal. It's the formal.
It's formal.
Yeah.
It was a deliberate choice that she referred to them that way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hate to do this now, but the librarian is kind of a jerk.
I think maybe our paths are just different.
It's an
They
interesting
want
choice.
something from me that I don't know if I can give.
I mean, if I could be so bold, I doubt there's much you couldn't give anyone. When?
I don't know about this.
I mean, no one at the Ludus worked as hard as you did to do what you did effortlessly.
Well, kind of had help there, but...
Did you really, though? I mean, look at Io. I mean, he showed up there able to do far more than most people, and he just kind of has a way with things, but you just kind of breezed through it, almost to the point that I wonder if maybe someone wasn't taking credit for all the hard work you were doing.
I think that's a very kind way to view my path, so to speak. I think I need to find my own now. More than I have done before. I don't know. I think for the first time, I don't really know what to do.
You still have all your books?
Yeah. I'd have to go get them, but I have them.
More often than not, we found answers there when we needed them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm just gonna be here waiting until Huxley needs me to patch him up, so you're welcome to hang out.
Well, it needs to be, and I think that maybe more than one hand will be needed when whatever happens up there happens.
I kind of hope he hurts him pretty bad, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I might use mending and leave him a scar.
Sure. That, I think she's gonna look at Alistair for a minute. Just sort of looking for any indication of, like, the focus of his interest in Huxley, because I think this is a little bit more than she's ever seen him really give to anybody in the past.
Yeah, give me an insight check. Alistair, you're not really being sneaky here, but if you want to roll deception, you can.
I think it's nuanced at this point, but not
Right.
sneaky.
14.
I would say he's interested in the experience that Huxley offers.
Okay. He's pretty good at what he does. And she's gonna glance over at the equipment that he left behind.
To be clear, all of it's Alistair's equipment.
Oh, yeah. I just meant the state in which he left the equipment,
Yeah.
which is not how Alistair would have left the equipment.
Mhm.
Maybe that's a good thing.
You know, I never did appreciate how rigid the Ludus could be, but usually find the truth in the messier things, unfortunately. Maybe his way can help us, or me, figure some things out.
I'm glad I'm going to be here to see it.
And I know he's leaving soon, so, you know, there's no need to get attached.
Roll a deception check.
No deception check needed. No.
For reasons, that is 22.
Nice.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think it really changes how she'd respond, though.
Okay.
What she would say is, people come in and out of our lives a lot. Some stay longer than others. But everybody leaves. But that doesn't mean that they leave you. Enjoy it while it's here. Whatever it is.
I'm not going to make you guys make rolls back and forth all night, but I'm going to say, Alistair, I feel like you feel like Gwen's words are rather weighted on the concept of people leaving.
Yeah, I think there's a visible, we'll call it a pain.
And you guys
when
know
you
each
say
other,
that.
so I do think
Yeah.
there's a sense of like you might know,
No.
just straight up. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. But you're not leaving, and I'm not leaving, and Yori and the rest, they're not leaving anytime soon.
I don't see that happening. At least not until we find Siobhan's daughter. After that.
After that, then we look for the other rod.
That's high up on the list. I really don't think that whatever this Tal guy is, whatever the Mortimers are up to, it doesn't sound like they're the ones who should have this.
And then after that, there'll be something else.
Yeah.
Something's up.
That sounds like the timer just went off on something.
You see it run back. Cool. So we cut to so now fast forwarding through everything else. Fire, yelling, Siobhan being held at gunpoint. Talk. And now we get to a point where everybody is dispersing out. Finding a place to sleep. Siobhan, you get a knock at the door.
I'll open it.
You see Huxley in the door. I wanted to handle this now because I just feel like it's easier to apologize twice in one day rather than having to split it up into multiple days of whatever. I'm sorry. I know you were trying to help, and I took advantage of that.
Well, you did apologize on the deck, so... And you don't seem like one to continue to seek out apologies. Is there something else you came down here to say? Because as I said, it's not an issue.
How did you do that?
know about the parrot?
Yeah.
You seem to have a dislike for emotions, much like Alistair. But there's a certain magic to emotions. A magic that I can sense, that I can see and pull. So when you held me, I was flooded with that. I saw more than the parrot, I'll be honest.
That's what you did to the captain, too.
Yes.
Never seen him do that.
I'm sorry for the way he reacted towards you. I did not expect that. To be clear, I can't manipulate emotions.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I deserve that. At least that, so. Yori, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spent 3 hours working with you. Not 100% sure your name is Yori.
I understand that.
He had it backwards. The reason why I owed him something. And it was a debt, but not in the way that I think was. I guess what I'm trying to say is that people of our profession often have difficulties with emotions. And yeah, I guess I thought I had that uprooted. But now I know I need to try harder.
I think that's your problem. You don't feel the emotions and let them go. I'm in this profession, yes, but due to the nature of what I do, as you are aware, emotions are an integral part. Burying them down, you'll lose control of them like you did on the ship, on the deck earlier. There's nothing wrong with taking time to feel and process and then letting it go, rather than letting yourself lose control.
Rather do that than fall into the hands of someone I know I can't trust, who puts a gun to my head the minute my back's turned.
Well, here on this ship, you're safe from many of the dangers you've probably faced before. Probably not safe from that. We point weapons at each other often. I'm just saying, this is probably the safest place for you to take that time, especially because you have no choice but to sit on this ship for a week.
I want to be clear, just in case you feel like you needed to help me with what you perceived this conversation was about. I needed to know what you did to me so that I know that you could never do it again.
Then let me be clear as well. If you hurt anyone on this ship, whether with malicious intent or if it's another one of your accidents, I will skin you alive.
Understood. Do you know of a place that I can crash?
Do I know if there's spare cabins?
There's no spare cabins, I'd say. I think. Yeah, I don't think there's any spare cabins.
She's gonna go into her room, gather up her stuff, and then walk out. Just say, "You can crash here. I'm staying with Gwen."
I wasn't... Okay, so you're one of those. Okay. I guess I'll take advantage. Again, thank you. He walks in, he closes the door. Sorry.
And I'm gonna go to Gwen's cabin, which I don't even know if she's in her cabin. She might be in Alistair's.
So after all of this, Alistair and Gwen are in Alistair's cabin. Let's say in general, because this happened after everything. Is there something specific you guys are talking about, Alistair and Gwen?
I mean, Gwen doesn't have to sleep, so she's just finding a quiet place to probably read and transcribe notes and stuff like that.
Okay.
While she can. Alistair had mentioned going over books, but he needs to sleep, so I don't know if she would... Actually, would she be in his room, or would she have gone back to her own? Depends if he kicks her out, I guess.
Roll for it.
What am I rolling?
Over a 10, you're in your room. Under a 10, you're in mine.
All right, I rolled a 7.
Great.
Yep.
So Gwen, you're... what is... I hate to press on this, but I think it's important for this. What is Gwen doing with her time right now?
She had, I think if she could, she would have, because she keeps most of her stuff in, like, her vessel of the book, not the library itself, but, you know, she's got a place there. But I think what she would really be doing with her time is in her journal that she's been keeping for all of these years, start to sort of transcribe it into an empty one that she's got, because she's got plenty of journals just hanging around. Just because, like, on one level she's doing it because she's practicing, like, her own cipher sort of thing, so that nobody else, if they get a hold of it, can make sense of it, because she had that panic, you know, of what if they get this book and find out all this information we don't want them to know. So she's practicing using her journal right now as, like, the key to it, to write a cipher of all of her journal entries. I think she'd start on that. So she has a copy of it for herself.
Alistair, where are you keeping the cane?
Touching at least one part of my body at all times.
So I think we see a scene of... First off, I think an important point. I think, Siobhan, when you're going to Gwen's room and you see that Gwen isn't there, do you check on Gwen? like just to see if she's in Alistair's room?
I think I would walk to Alistair's room and listen. And if I can hear them talking, I'll go back to her room and just crash there. But if I don't,
Yeah, say in
peek
this
in.
moment you don't hear anyone talking.
I guess I'll poke my head in.
Cool. So we're gonna pause that interaction. Gwen. You hear a voice in your head. What are you writing?
Who is this?
We met earlier today.
Oh, does the voice sound like...
Yeah, vaguely. I would say it's like you don't hear that echoing sort of sound. It sounds like it's definitely in your head, but it's not. It would be similar to the voice, just without the like omnipotence, sort of like godlike sort of sound.
I think then she would just say, my life.
I don't understand. Is it in case you forget?
It's so I remember. My choices are mine.
Yes. I am my own being. I don't have to listen to anyone but myself.
That's true. Sometimes people can have advice or perspective that you might not have considered before. What you do with that is up to you.
I can listen, but I make my own choices. No matter who leaves. It's easier for me to leave them first. Gwen, you can roll an insight check if you want.
Wow. Okay. 20. Dirty 20.
I think at first you're a little confused, and then you get the idea of this is... It's almost like this entity is imprinting you giving it advice is how it's understanding to be like you. But it's getting more than just what you're saying to it.
I think she'd think back to it. That has always been how I've experienced the world. But I don't think that that's how everybody needs to experience the world. Because it's right for me, it doesn't mean it's right for anyone else. It's something you have to determine for yourself.
And putting things in a concept of how they affect only me allows me to be able to say that they're neither right nor wrong. so I don't have to make a conscious choice on how I feel about anything. I can choose not to feel, just react.
You shouldn't hide from how you feel, though. Recognize it and react to that.
Make actions. 'Cause no one can tell you what to do. You hear a slight knock at the door as Siobhan pokes her head in.
Oh.
Siobhan, you heard
You're-
Gwen talking to someone.
Seen her send ascending before, though. Like, would I think it's anything out of the usual?
I don't know. You can roll me as a check if you want.
I'm trying to think. I think Gwen probably also mutters to herself when she's writing. So that seems like something.
It's an 18.
I don't think you've ever heard Gwen instructing anyone in ascending before.
Still a little guilty from what Gwen said earlier. She's not going to look at Gwen.
Okay.
She's going to look at Alistair and go, you mentioned Eldrin and your parents earlier. Something happened? I'm just picking up context from what you said at dinner.
I tell you everything.
I could scry on Eldrin to see if they're okay. Unless...
Alistair, you hear a voice in your head. I feel like if you wanted to know that, you could have asked for help. Is she asking, or is she asking you if you want help, or is she asking for permission?
Are you asking for permission, or are you asking to help?
Forget it. It was a stupid idea.
No,
Just-
no, it's not. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. I genuinely was just curious. I didn't mean anything by it at all. I'm sorry. Please come in. Please have a seat.
She's gonna come in and have a seat.
Gwen reached out to my mom earlier. We might try again on another day, but I don't know that there's much to be. If you wanted to look in on someone, you could look in on on my mom and dad and just see that they're okay. That would be nice. I would appreciate that.
Didn't you say Gwen just talked to them though?
Yeah, but I don't really want to. I don't know what we would learn from the Princess of Honoria by looking at her.
Maybe how many allies she already has at her side. How
You hear the
screwed they are.
You hear the voice say, "She's not getting it. We don't need to rely on her. We need to know that Alina and Faustus are safe. That's what's important."
Just to be sure, this is a different voice, right? Or is this my voice I'm hearing?
This is a different voice. Yeah, it sounds like vaguely female.
Got it. I think he kind of looks down at the floor and shakes his head, like trying to clear fog out of his head, and then looks back at you. It's not about... Listen, we know that Huxley can somehow intercept messages. We know that something's going on with Eldrin and the Mortimers. It would just be nice to see if they're okay.
When you shake your head, did you seem annoyed?
No, I think it's just that somebody trying to get rid of that fog in their head. Like,
Cool.
Can I roll an insight check on him? Is he acting weird too? Are they both acting weird in this room right now?
I think no insight check required on the idea that there's a weird energy in this room. You look at Gwen. Gwen's not talking. Gwen, I'll say this. What is Gwen thinking right now?
I think she's a little perturbed by the voice in her head, but she remembers back to how it felt in that other dimensional world, and given her recent feelings towards being told what to do, the voice is like, yeah, this is reminding her of some things. So I think she's just processing through
Cool.
that.
I think especially with what Huxley basically just said was like, thanks for letting me take advantage of you.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alistair's just like keeps pushing this, and he's a lot like Huxley. He's not like Huxley, but he is a little like Huxley. She's just gonna be like, you know what? I'll be in Gwen's room. I'll give you guys your time alone. You know where to find me.
You're welcome to stay. You asked if you could help, and I told you what would be helpful, but it's your choice. You can do what you need to do.
I'm so...
Are you okay? I know when Huxley grabbed you earlier, that had to be hard for you.
Hard for me? That wasn't hard for me. It might be hard for you. And then she's going to get up and start to walk out.
Got it.
And if he doesn't stop her, she's going to go to Gwen's room.
I'm going to take some liberties here. Alistair, you hear the voice go. If you could see your parents and know that they're safe, would you want to?
Yes.
And I choose to show you. In the middle of what's going on, Gwen, what you see from Alistair is that Alistair seems like, I think Alistair just looks like he turns over like he's going to go back to sleep. That's what you see, Gwen. Alistair, from your vision, the only thing that is noticeable we see from the camera's point of view, we see just like flashing of images coming over your eyes, as if there's like a blue light that is just on your eyes. You see an image of your mother and father eating dinner. Just kind of solemnly kind of like looking at each other, and you see Faustus kind of like points to something in his dish, and you see Alina reaching over and grabbing it and then putting it in her mouth, and then them both laughing. Roll me a history check.
14.
You see an image of your parents, and they seem to be okay. They seem to be happy. Not... I don't think you get a sense of, like, they're happier without you. I don't think it's anything like that. I just think you get... I mean, you choose to take that how you want, right? But, like, you just see... they're fine.
Alistair 100% takes that they're fine. They're good. And I think I'll just roll over, look at Gwen, and slowly fade off. Questioning why there's a new voice in my head.
As you fade off, trust me. I'll take care of you. Flip over Siobhan. Siobhan, you go to Gwen's room. You close the door at this like weird in-between point of like you don't want to slam it because that's going to create noise, but you're definitely annoyed. You're perturbed. There's like a sense of just like you shutting the door is meaning more than just the physical sense, as you're just pushing everybody out of your room in the kind of figurative sense.
So to be clear, when Alistair explained everything, he explained everything.
Yeah, 100%.
And Siobhan saw the brother walk in and knows that the brother's the one that took Eldrin's brother, right?
Yes. Did Siobhan see the brother? Grencelli's brother?
I thought we were leaving together. thought that's when we were walking out and they were walking in.
I don't think so.
remember.
I think Alistair was alone. Right? I think actually technically Nalani was with Alistair. Alistair was walking out with the book that he was like deep in reading in and was like not paying attention where he was going, and then he looked up and then he saw both of them walk by.
But they were walking into the police station, which I was in with Brooke.
True. But I will say, because I think that would have been a scene, I don't think you saw them. I cannot remember where they are, but roll for it.
Just a luck check?
Yeah, give me a luck check.
12?
12. With a 12, I'm going to say you do remember seeing bodies, and I think you remember seeing Grencelli. You did not get a good look at the brother.
And I don't remember Eldrin's message. Did she say her brother was taken by the brother or by Grencelli?
She said that she was taken by Grencelli. Well, actually, she said the Mortimers, and she said, we think there might be a brother, but we don't know. I confirmed it for them.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna roll for it.
Okay.
Above 10, she's scrying on Grencelli. Below, she's scrying on Eldrin. That's a 19. We're scrying on Grencelli.
Okay.
Cool, I don't have to go to Eriscar now.
That worked out real well for Eldrin.
Yeah. And New Moon, right?
I feel like I'm missing something.
Depends on where
Eldrin
Grencelli is.
Yeah, well, it's more like the Mortimer. And know where they are, I think, now. And know they're coming. It's just unfortunate.
I rolled twice and rolled 2 4s. So, dice, I hear you.
Nice.
I am going to say, you see Remy at the foot of your bed, just looking at you and going, are you sure you want to do this?
I'm not sure of any of my choices right now. Every single thing I do seems to be wrong.
Okay. I'll try to pull you back if things get bad. Ready?
Neve?
On your shoulder.
I'm ready.
Vision comes back. You see a raven perched on a branch as it flies off. You see there are a couple others that are around. You see the familiar form of Grencelli walking up a gentle slope. can see her sort of naturally beautiful but expressionless face, just looking around. I've respected you enough to come meet you where you are. On your turf now. You see two images appear. One of them seems to drop down from changing into a raven, as you see a vision of a figure that is draped in a black visage, scepter in hand, that has an extremely, what looks to be a very dangerous looking spike at the end of this staff. You see behind her looking human. It's hard to tell. Has a hood over his head, but you can see white hair. Very, very structured face. Could be elven. It's hard to tell. Well, Grancelli Mortimer herself graces us with her presence. Yes. Your soldier gave me false information. Throws something at their feet. Ting, 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 ting. You see it's a elongated, cylindrical item. It's fake. I would like to talk to this individual myself, seeing as I would rather not spend my resources trying to find them. I was hoping you would just lead me to where they are. The woman with the visage and has like a little, you can't see the top of her face. You can just see the lips on down, as there looks to be like a small veil in front. Well, I am terribly sorry, but it seems that our former colleague is no more. They passed away so close to our mother. But unfortunately, there was no one for you to punish. Then get me someone who can get the job done. You know what's at stake involves you as well. That is true. We do have information that there is someone that travels with the one that can no longer mention their name. That group managed to slink away from whatever altercation ailed them in the Shadowfell. But it seems that they are transporting someone. Little girl of extreme source of magic. One ventures to say that she is touched by the gods herself. But I'm wondering if it's something deeper. These rods that you speak of, you said that they were hidden away by the Fae. Yes, that is correct, as far as we know. Well, I've spent some time in the Feywild, and I can tell you that those Fae are awfully good at being tricksters. Wherever they hid it would be hard to find, especially if they considered humans as a possible vessel. Guess I wouldn't put it past them. So are you collecting her or am I? Siobhan, you wake up. What do you do?
Uh, um, I run to Alistair's room because I don't want him to be mad at me, but I really want them to hear about what just happened.
We see Siobhan looking back and forth. There's a close-up of Siobhan's face. You see her just you see her just shake her head, just run out of the room, slam the door. We pull back from that room. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Holy shit.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.